What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global back here with another video. And in this one, we are going to be breaking down right off the bat some winners and losers from the New England Patriots win over the Green Bay Packers. Now, before we hop into this one, I obviously have to come on here and just take a moment of silence for Isaiah Bolden. Obviously, a very unexpected event that you never predict. And this is the type of situation you never see in the NFL. Now, obviously, we've seen from time to time, it's rare, but from time to time, we do see guys having to be taken off by a stretcher into an ambulance. It's rare, but we have seen it. But we never see games actually being stopped because a player is injured. Now, currently, we don't have any updates on Isaiah Bolden, what's going on and how he's going to be. Is this out for the season? Is this out for a few weeks? Is he going to return to football at all? A lot of questions we don't know, but I will update you guys when we do get an update on that situation. If you guys don't know what happened, go check out the recent video that I posted here on the channel. I basically posted a just short little clip of what the injury was for everybody that was asking. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. But he was just flat on the floor, straight off the contact and just not moving. So something you really don't see. But we're going to continue this video. We're going to hop into this video as much as we can. Also want to say, for those who obviously were wondering what happened tonight with me on Bleacher Report, me and the crew over at Bleacher Report decided that it probably was for the best that we did not do the post-game stream that we do immediately following the game. Obviously, the game ended abruptly, but to adjust everybody in different emotions, confusion, in a haze a little bit. So we just thought that probably wasn't the best idea to start content right away. So the next day that I will be on Bleacher Report, we're not going to be talking about Packers there, but the next day I'll be on Bleacher Report will be the 23rd as I look at my calendar, the 25th and the 29th, and that's just for this month. So I will, of course, continue to have you guys updated. As we head into this video, please make sure you guys leave a big like on the video. Guys, only about 10 to 20% of you guys are leaving a like on the video. We're getting at least 1,000 views per video, which means that if all of you like it, we can get at least 1,000 likes per video. Let's, for this video, shoot for about 300 likes. And that's so easy. That is so easy for us to get. You guys are the best fan base in the entire National Football League. Whether you're a Patriots fan, whether you're a Packers fan, no matter what fan you are, you coming to this channel, you're a part of the Patriots Global community. And it would mean the world to me if you help the channel and the algorithm out by leaving a like on the video. So without further ado, let's roll that Patriots Global intro and hop into the breakdown today of my winners and losers. I might naturally have a few more takeaways than I usually do. I honestly thought that there was a lot to take away from this game, and it was really a great game. I had such a fun time watching this game until the Isaiah Bolden situation. I think the back-to-back constant lead change between these two teams was the best you're going to see in a preseason game. But as I try to find, guys, I know I'm working on trying to get new edits, because I realized when I'm in my last winners and losers video that this says win and loss and not winners and losers. So we're going to have a new edit, but we're going to roll with this for now. My first winner on this list is going to be wide receiver Kendrick Bourne. Now, obviously, we all know KB absolutely flashed with this team, being one of Mac Jones' favorite targets in 2021. Then he was in the Matt Patricia doghouse last year. He literally got no opportunities unless every other receiver was injured, which was absolutely horrendous. And we had question marks on what was it going to look like year 3 for Kendrick Bourne. And it looks like he is getting kind of that role that Nelson Aguilar was in. He's kind of being mixed now into the Patriots number 2 to number 3, more solidified as the number 3 receiver for the Patriots. And he came out here with the Patriots starting offense with Mac Jones at quarterback, because we saw a good amount of Mac Jones today, and was Mac's go-to guy right away. Obviously, Mac's go-to guy has been Jacoby Myers over the last couple of years. And the question mark was going to be, is Mac's go-to guy going to be KB this year, or is that guy going to be Hunter Henry? And it looks like that guy very well could be KB. We have more to see, but based off today, it definitely looks like it. He started out the first few series with the Patriots, and then when the Patriots offense was done for the day, he obviously came off with them. He not only started, but also hauled in the first 2 passes of the game from Mac Jones. The first one was a 4-yard reception on a 1st and 15. And then the next was on a 13-yard catch on 2nd and 11. He obviously goes ahead and picks up that first down. He also made an impact in the running game. He made some key blocks for them early on. I thought that the running game early on had a couple of struggles with Ramondre Stevenson, but obviously as things went on, worked themselves out, as I think the run game did in general throughout this game. Pass protection, that's a little bit different, but we'll talk about that later on. I did think that there was a couple plays by KB in the run game that, he wants to have back, but it's just a preseason game. We're getting back into football, and I thought his contributions in the passing game, one of which on that second down, that he converted, that 13-yard catch, was an excellent just jump in the air, 50-50 contested ball catch, the type that you would think you see from Devontae Parker, but KB makes. And that's exactly what you want to see from Mac Jones, connecting in a go-to moment, because Mac Jones was actually being pressured on that play and had to get the ball out within a second to a second and a half. As soon as the ball was snapped, pressure was on him, edge defender was coming around, and Mac Jones was able to quickly get the snap and fire the ball straight to KB. So KB to me was definitely a winner in this game. And so my next winners on this list is going to be, I'm just going to categorize them together. I originally had them separate, but I was thinking, why not just talk about them together and kill two birds with one stone here? It was the rookie wide receivers, Demario Douglas and Kayshon Boutte. Our first time really being able to see Demario Douglas, as he really didn't play really at all last week, which I put him on the winners last week because that's obviously a good sign. And Demario Douglas did once again come off the field once the Patriots starting offense came off the field, but we were able to see him in more of a receiving capacity today with Mac Jones and the Patriots starting offense. Now, his first pass from Mac Jones went for a 15-yard on 3rd and 10. It just looked like it was a broken coverage by the Packers defense. And that's not to take anything away from what Demario Douglas did, because it's the cuts, it's the route running that Demario Douglas ran that essentially made that coverage blown by the Packers, and he picked up an easy 15-yard completion on a 3rd and 10 to convert a necessary first down for the Patriots. Something we said, like, hey, is Mac Jones going to be able to connect with Demario Douglas on those 3rd downs, gotta have it moments? Like, is Demario Douglas going to be that guy for Mac Jones? And at least in this preseason game, he definitely was. And then the next time that Demario Douglas got a catch, because he only had 2 catches, but the next time he got a catch was, I forget if it was a 2nd or 3rd down. But he was able to just quickly stop on a dime. Something that we've heard from camp, from reporters this entire offseason, that Demario Douglas, his ability at route running, getting separation, and to just completely stop on a dime, because he's fast. But his ability to be quick and then stop on a dime and switch directions is how he's so good at getting separation, and what makes his route running so smooth. And it looked like he was going to go for a loss on the catch during that second catch, but because of him being able to stop on a dime, he was able to juke out a couple of defenders, and he turned what would have been a loss into a pickup for a couple. That's exactly what you want to see from Demario Douglas. Now, as for Kayshon Boutte, we finally saw him. And let me tell you, this was the LSU Kayshon Boutte that I think we've all been wanting to see, that we've all been asking for, and it's only the preseason, so I don't want to freak out just much. He's not passing Demario Douglas on like the roster or anything like that, but I think at this point, as long as he can stay healthy and not make any negative plays, Kayshon Boutte should be a guy that we are at this point pinning in on the Patriots roster, because they will not get him back on the practice squad or back on the 53 if they cut him in any capacity. Today, he did play with the starting offense, but also is still working with that second team offense in Bailey Zappi. That's where he did the bulk of his work. And obviously, to me, that solidifies the fact that he's not passing Demario Douglas. Demario Douglas is pretty much certainly making this roster. He's guaranteed, to me, to make the roster at this point. I think they wanted to see more from Boutte to be able to say, is he going to make this roster? Is he ready to make this roster or not? Because going against the 53-man roster, that's a very important thing. That's a big step to do, because obviously you're taking that attention away, that spot away from somebody else. But with Bailey Zappi, he was able to make a big impact. With 56 seconds left in the second quarter, The Patriots, Bailey Zappi, under center, they were able to drive down the field and punch it into the end zone before going into half. Butte caught a 10-yard slant and ran 42 yards for the touchdown. 42 yards. And it's those simple things, right? It's those simple things where this season, Mac Jones needs to get the ball out quick. So running things like slants where Mac Jones can get the ball out within a second, and then guys can do exactly what Butte did today what Booty did today and turn that reception in for a long catch, long reception, a long touchdown is exactly what we're going to need. And he turned that into it today. I think we all underestimated the route running and the speed of Kayshon Boutte because the speed it took to be able to kick it into second gear and run in for a 42-yard catch when it was just originally a 10-yard slant, that's not easy to do. So I think he was impressive today, especially after the catch, which is something the Patriots need in their repertoire. And he finished the day with 2 catches for 49 yards and 1 touchdown. Absolutely showed out. And I was very, very, very excited to see him. Now, my next winner on this list is going to be punter Bryce Behringer. And it's funny because my last winners and losers video for the Patriots joint practice with the Packers, I said that Behringer was a loser because he was not performing well in practice. But he's just a fine example why it doesn't really matter if specialists truly practice or how they look in practice. If they can look good, I really don't think that Bryce Behringer has necessarily comfortably won this roster battle yet between him and Corliss Waitman. But you look at what he's been able to do in games, and you got to say, you know what? How can you deny the talent that Behringer has given you? Because in games so far through 2 preseason games, he's absolutely killed it. Yes, in practice, it hasn't been great, but through actual games, which is when you need him the most, he's been absolutely showing up. In fact, I can actually tell you guys some of the plays that he made today. Let me wrote them down somewhere. Here they are. So Behringer today, from his 2 punts alone, his first 2 punts against the Packers today, went for a total of 120 total yards. That is absolutely absurd for a punter. Absolutely absurd. His first one traveled about 59 yards and hit the Green Bay's 14-yard line. And his second punt went 61 total yards to the Green Bay's 14-yard line. Obviously, the returner did decide to return it, but Brendan Schooler was pretty much down by the returner at that point, so it was able to be downed at the 17-yard line. In comparison to how Waitman was able to perform today, Behringer had an average punt of 60 yards. So between his 2 punts, it was averaged at 60 total yards. He had a long of 61. And then Waitman had 1 punt that went 32 total yards. So Behringer was able to go almost double what Waitman was able to go within 1 punt. So I think enough said about the punter battle, enough said about Bryce Behringer. With those numbers alone, you can clearly see why he was a winner. And so my next winners on this list, I'm going to double them up like I did with the wide receivers. It's going to be Ramondre Stevenson and J.J. Taylor. So let's put this up real quick. So Ramondre Stevenson and J.J. Taylor absolutely showcased themselves today as the Patriots' best running backs. I really didn't think that Kevin Harris did all that well. He was given 10 attempts, only 3.1 yards on average with 31 total yards. Didn't think it was all that, but Ramondre Stevenson opens up with the Patriots' leading offense, is able to go down in the red zone on their opening drive, is able to punch it in. Obviously, they started at the 18-yard line due to the fumble recovery, but they were able to punch it down. I thought they looked excellent in the red zone. The Patriots today, in general, had 2 red zone trips, and in both of those red zone trips, were able to capitalize on touchdowns. They struggled with that last year. That's exactly what you want to see. So even a winner is an honorable mention to the Patriots' red zone offense today. But Ramondre is able to go 4 attempts, 27 yards, 6.8 yards per reception, and 1 touchdown. Keep in mind, that is without Michael Onwenu, and that is without Cole Strange. Trent Brown was out there. David Andrews was out there. But your other starters, they were not out there. J.J. Taylor, on the other side of this, was playing in the third quarters, playing in the fourth quarter. He wasn't given a whole lot of attempts either. I think if the game continued to go on, there's obviously 11 minutes left in the game. He would have gotten more attempts. He was more of their fourth quarterback, as Kevin Harris was more of their third quarterback. But J.J. Taylor finishes with 4 attempts, 29 yards, a long run of 15, and 7.2 yards. 7.2 yards per carry. J.J. Taylor is an electrifying running back that I think is a good change of pace running back too. I just don't think he's hit the extra stride that the Patriots have wanted him to. But I truly wonder if Pierre Strong and Ty Montgomery are not going to be ready, if maybe he's a guy they try to squeeze on the back end of this roster. And when one of those guys come back, maybe they push J.J. Taylor off. Or maybe the Patriots truly just say, you know what, we're going to do what we did the past couple years with J.J. Taylor. We're going to release him. With what's going on with this running back market, he's probably going to clear waivers, and then they can get him back on the practice squad and elevate them when they want to. But we're talking about the Patriots and Packers game, and J.J. Taylor, Ramondre Stevenson, those two guys from a running back perspective absolutely balled out, even with some questionable offensive line blocks from here and there. So without further ado, though, let's try to hop into the losers. And actually, before we do that, I do have one more winner that I do want to include on this list. He was actually the first winner that I wrote down, and that was Mac Jones. I think that Mac Jones had a good game today. Now, did he blow up the stat sheet? No. At the end of the day, Mac Jones was 6 for 9 today. He had a quarterback rating of 81.7, still better than Bailey Zappi. He was averaging 5.8 yards per throw and a total of 52 yards through those 6 completions. I thought that what we saw from Mac Jones, as I clicked the wrong one, I thought what we saw from Mac Jones was very refreshing compared to what we saw last year, right? And I think that a big part of that was from Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien truly came in. He started implementing RPOs straight off the bat, from Juju to Demario Douglas. Some of these big catches straight off the bat to Kendrick Bourne was an RPO. I'm so happy that we're able to finally see Mac Jones being utilized in an offensive system that he's actually going to thrive in. But I thought that there were a couple of key plays that I saw. I mean, Mac Jones' ability with this offensive line, because their pass protection has been absolutely horrible. Run blocking has gotten better. Pass protection from any quarterback, whoever the offensive line is, whoever the quarterback is, has been absolutely terrible. Mac Jones avoiding the sacks. There was one point where he actually stood up in the pocket, then actually ran for it, and was able to get a few yards closer. That led to that Ramondre Steven touchdown on that opening drive when they started at the 18-yard line. But then there was another point. This was that catch by Kendrick Bourne, which he went up, very contested 50-50 ball by him. And Mac Jones was able to get that ball out in a split second. Center snaps it, David Andrews, Mac Jones gets it. Edge rusher's already coming around him. Could have been a strip sack. Mac Jones gets that ball out super quick because he senses the pressure. I thought his pocket awareness in this game, his reads in this game were great. He should have had a completed pass to Devontae Parker, a big play down the field. Parker just didn't look like he was going full out. It's for a preseason game, so I don't blame him. And then there was one big play to Hunter Henry Mac Jones should have had, but slightly overthrew him. But other than that, I thought Mac Jones played an absolutely stellar game. But now let's hop on to these losers. So my first loser on this list is going to be the Patriots run defense. And it was really the entire game. There wasn't one specific running back that just barked down the Patriots defense. It was a multitude of different guys. There were 4 running backs here for the Packers that averaged 4.2 yards per attempt or better. One of their running backs, Aaron Jones, was able to go 6 yards per carry. Now, he only had 1 carry, so I guess that doesn't really say a whole lot. But even Love had 2 carries. He was able to go 5.5 yards on average for 11 total yards. The Patriots run defense was just absolutely horrific. And the thing too is that, you look at the opening drive here by the Packers offense. Well, Aaron Jones being given that attempt, Love being given those attempts, that was against the Patriots starting defense. Now, of course, there were some bodies that weren't in there. This is the preseason. I'm not too worried about it. But obviously, when you first year starting offense against the Packers, who, yeah, they have a good running back core. They have a good offensive line, but you're going to see teams with much better groups of running backs and much better offensive lines, and you let them run down your throat this entire game. And it didn't stop there, unfortunately, because it went from quarter 1 up until the end of the game in quarter 4. And the Packers were able to run on 29 attempts. 29 attempts. They were able to go with 119 total rushing yards. They were averaging 4.1 yards per carry and one total touchdown. Obviously, averaging 4.1 yards per carry in a game is an absolute recipe for winning a game. Clock management, you're able to run the ball down, keep the opposing offense off the field. The Patriots have to be able to stop the run better. They did it excellently last year, which is what led to such a stellar defense. So hopefully this was just a one-time thing, but run defense was absolutely horrific today. So let's move on here to the next. So my next losers on this list, we're going to pair them up again. It really was just the Patriots tackles today, though. If I wanted to go into a broad spectrum, I would just say Patriots tackles. I thought the interior of the offensive line kept up pretty good today. Obviously, Riley Reif pinned into right guard versus what we've seen from him at tackle his entire career. But, I thought the tackles were really what gave the Patriots the most issues with their offensive line today, especially from a pass blocking standpoint. The two guys I have specifically written down were Andrew Stuber and Sidy Sow, the guys that did cause the 2 sacks. And unfortunately, those 2 sacks were big sacks. Sidy Sow allowed a sack on 3rd down and just absolutely let Mac Jones get dropped to his absolute knees. Didn't even give him a second. Gave him a split second, but just absolutely dropped him for a big loss. I think that Sidy Sow has not looked good. And I said this last week. I continue to say it because he's still not looking good. Whether it's been left tackle, whether it's been right tackle, it doesn't seem like this experiment with trying a guard over at tackle is working for the Patriots all that well. And I think it's interesting that they signed Riley Reif, a veteran tackle his entire career. He's not working out. So now they're trying him at guard. You know what? You shouldn't have signed Riley Reif. Cut your ties with him. And for the love of God, at this point, put Sow back to guard because you're trying to turn rocks into diamonds. That's exactly what they're trying to do. They said, you know what? We did it with Onwenu. Maybe we can do it here. Well, guess what? Mike Onwenu never looked this bad. And at this point, I think Sow is a liability. Maybe they can continue to develop him. But right now, he is just not an option for this team, even in the preseason. Um, he's constantly letting up big plays every single game on his end of the field. And then Andrew Stuber, a guy that I was really hoping was going to be able to step up. He did not do that today. He allowed a strip sack after a clutch 3rd down catch by Kendrick Bourne from Mac Jones. This is what you want to see. Both of those plays came with Mac Jones under center. Both the big sack on 3rd down from Sow and the Andrew Stuber strip sack. That was the only turnover that the Patriots had today. And the one with Andrew Stuber, it was just one-on-one. He just strictly got overpowered. So the Patriots have some questions on who's their starting right tackle. But even when it comes to a backup perspective, because let's be honest, your starting tackles aren't going to stay healthy. I'm not confident in any of these guys being able to actually start in a regular NFL game. So let's just keep going on. We know the issues with tackle, but yet again, it was an absolute L. So the next loser on my list going to be their issues tackling today. And unfortunately, I don't have statistics for missed tackles and which players had those missed tackles. I don't think those are going to come out till tomorrow or even potentially the following day. I did have one specific play written down where I forget who it was, and I can't seem to find it from my notes. But there was a point where there was a Patriots player who just straight up should have made a tackle on 3rd down. Really trying to remember who it was, but it was a 3rd down play. There was about 3 or 4 yards out for the Packers on a 1st down. This Patriots player is able to line up straight in front of him. Should have made the tackle straight up. If he's able to make a secure tackle, then point blank, it's done. The Patriots get the ball back after a Packers punt. But instead, this Patriots player has a missed tackle and picks up the 1st down. And it seemed to be that way the entire game. Whether it was the Patriots defensive backs or even the Patriots defensive line, there were times that Jordan Love would be scrambling or the backup quarterbacks would be scrambling and the defensive lineman would be in a perfect position to make the stop. But they would just be shaken off or they would just trip and they would fall. There were major issues tackling, even with some of the Patriots starting team defense. But, as the game trickled down, it became more prominent. That was a major issue today. something we usually don't see from the Patriots. We saw it it was more prominent back in like 2017, but since then it's gotten better and better from this team every single year. And good tackling, straight up, pure tackles, straight off the bat, being able to secure your tackles are what leads to such a good defense. Those are just the starting fundamentals of having a good defense. And I thought it looked really bad today. I honestly thought that if they were able to make secure tackles straight off the bat for the entire game, then the Patriots offense gets the ball back more. And we're seeing what the Packers put up today in terms of points. They put up a total of 17 total points. I think if they were able to tackle better, that number goes down drastically. So hopefully they can fix that heading into the regular season. But, I thought this defense was all over the place, from terms of stopping the run from top to bottom, from tackling from top to bottom, and even these Patriots backup cornerbacks were not doing very well. But who were your guys' winners and losers from this game? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video, and of course, subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching. Never forget,